Hello and welcome to the Astrology and Spirituality show for Tuesday, the 15th of December. Welcome. Well, the potency of yesterday's solar eclipse is still pouring its energy into this week. And because Mercury was very close to that solar eclipse, that's a key player. Even though it's not at one of its best locations in Sagittarius, I do think this is one of the weaker debilitated positions, and it is forging a fantastic link with Mars. So if we have a clear plan, a plan of expansion in some way, we could execute it with a lot of drive and determination and enthusiasm. But the dreamy energies of Neptune is broadly square with Mercury as well. So if we're not so sure, if we are suffering with a little bit of uncertainty, there could be a sense of frustration that things aren't going quite as we want, but perhaps we need to bring it back to ourselves to try to get that inner clarity, and then the energy can start flowing through us much more powerfully. Elisa, what cards have you chosen today?
Well, to carry on with that fiery energy, we are using these brand new cards that my mum got for my birthday. These are called the Dragon's Path Oracle cards. So very fiery energy indeed. Let's see what dragon message comes up for us today. Okay, so the word on this card is Soul Guardian. I think that this is saying to us, if we feel like we would like to connect with that energy that, you know, some people might call it a guardian angel, or just someone, maybe even that's passed over, a loved one that we feel is still looking out for us in some way. Today might be a good day to try and connect with that energy. Just having some time in meditation to ask, you know, the universe, ask God to allow those energies to step forward and see how that they can help us in some way.
That's absolutely beautiful. So is this the first time because we've been so busy recently with some changes at home, is this the first time you've actually shuffled the pack?
Yeah, the very first time. I did set my intention on them before I got them, because whenever I get a brand new deck of cards, I always like to just open them, go through them, and then set my intention on each card that the messages that come up are all for our highest good.
And who would you say was a protecting force for you in your life?
I have a guide, if you want to call that, called Lazaru, who's been with me for quite a long time. I think I was about 16 or 17 when he first sort of made an appearance. And I feel that he is somebody who lived quite a long time ago, but has sort of ascended, if you like. It's just a sort of spirit guide that's been with me for a long time. And I didn't know his name at first until I asked him in a meditation, and that's what I got from that.
And what about your nan? Because you were very close, weren't you?
Yeah, she's definitely a guardian angel in my life. I think what differs from passed over loved ones to, say, a guardian that's assigned to us from birth is that the energies are slightly different. So a passed over loved one might still be going through releasing parts of their earthly ego, because that takes time. It's a process. And that's not, you know, to say that's negative in any way, but they may still have some of their own opinions, which isn't necessarily always 100% helpful when we just want a pure spirit who's just completely knows us and has our back completely, doesn't have their own ego attached to it.
Yeah, that's really, really beautiful and profound. I had just one grandparent that I knew of, and she sadly died really quite quickly after my father died. And she was quite a quiet person, and I suppose you would say that maybe she was more of a matriarch in a sort of quiet way. But she had two marriages, and my mum was the one child of the second marriage. But her children from the first marriage were aunts and uncles that I absolutely, well, one uncle and two aunts that I really, really was very close to. But I didn't feel that I had a tremendously close connection with my nan when she was alive. And she was very close to one of my siblings. But actually, I've been getting her coming through quite a lot for me recently in a very protective way, which is absolutely lovely. So she was very much a Londoner. And so, yeah, it's wonderful to have these connections to people that we feel are very protective of us. And we do have some choices today from the planets to thrust forwards with the passion and fire that Elisa's referring to, because Mercury is in Sagittarius and Mars is in Aries. But we also have that watery influence of Neptune, which can bring a mystical dimension to proceedings, but also a touch of distortion and uncertainty if we're not so clear. It's also true to say that I think when Mercury and Neptune are sort of in a less than helpful angle, it's a kind of trickster central combination. So we could encounter someone that could say something to us that isn't actually true. Now, they might do that quite intentionally, or it could be that they just don't have that consciousness themselves, and they may be sort of expressing an opinion that they feel is right, or they feel that they're invested in it in a sincere way, but actually there may be something in it that's a bit not accurate. So we've got the big talks going on with Brexit. So with Mercury square Neptune, what we've still got is a degree of great uncertainty. And I've still got a hunch that despite the sort of different posturing on either sides, this is not so much of an astrological prediction, because I just haven't had a chance to look at it. I do know the United Kingdom is going through a very profound change, and it, because it's a Capricornian country, but I do have a sneaking hunch that they will sort that out. But at the moment, we may be getting a lot of mixed messages and perhaps some game playing going on both sides. And of course, Mercury and Neptune would be very much to do with fishing, wouldn't it? Which is one of the key parts of the discussion that's causing conflict. But thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that you're feeling the energy and the power of that enormously potent solar eclipse. But for now, from the A conglomerate, it is
Goodbye from me.
and it's goodbye from us.
Goodbye.